Imagine tracking a target so small, so fast, and so unpredictable that even advanced weapons systems struggle to land a direct hit. Now imagine that target isn't just one, it's dozens, maybe hundreds, moving in chaotic patterns, changing altitude, accelerating, decelerating, and sometimes even coordinating with each other. This is the modern battlefield reality, where drones have reshaped the rules of engagement, and where traditional rounds are increasingly proving to be ineffective. For decades, conventional ammunition was designed with a simple principle in mind: aim, fire, and hit. Whether it was a bullet, a shell, or a missile, success depended heavily on precision and timing. But drones, especially small unmanned aerial systems, have introduced a level of agility and unpredictability that challenges that entire model. These machines are not just fast, they're erratic. They can zigzag midair, hover suddenly, or drop rapidly, making it incredibly difficult for traditional rounds to intercept them. One of the biggest challenges is size. Many modern drones are incredibly compact, with profiles that are difficult to detect and even harder to track. Radar systems may struggle to lock onto them, especially when they fly low or blend into cluttered environments like urban areas or mountainous terrain. Even when detected, hitting such a small object with a standard round is like trying to hit a coin thrown into the air from hundreds of meters away. Speed compounds the problem. While not all drones are supersonic, many are fast enough to reduce the reaction time of defensive systems to mere seconds. By the time a system calculates trajectory, aligns the weapon, and fires, the drone may already be somewhere else entirely. Traditional rounds, which follow a fixed ballistic path, don't adapt once fired. If the target moves unpredictably after the shot is taken, the chance of a hit drops dramatically. Then there's the issue of maneuverability. Unlike traditional aircraft, drones don't need to follow smooth aerodynamic paths. They can make abrupt turns, sudden stops, and sharp dives that would be impossible, or extremely dangerous, for manned vehicles. This agility makes them exceptionally hard to predict, and prediction is exactly what traditional targeting systems rely on. Environmental factors also play a significant role. Wind, temperature, and terrain can all affect the flight path of a conventional round. Over long distances, even minor deviations can result in a miss. When engaging a small, fast-moving drone, there's very little margin for error. A slight miscalculation in wind speed or direction can be the difference between a successful interception and a complete miss. Another critical factor is volume. Drones are often deployed in swarms, overwhelming defenses through sheer numbers. Traditional rounds are typically designed for one target at a time. Even with rapid-fire systems, engaging multiple drones simultaneously becomes a logistical and tactical challenge. Ammunition can be depleted quickly, and the system may not be able to keep up with the incoming threats. Cost is another issue that cannot be ignored. Firing high-cost munitions at low-cost drones creates an imbalance that favors the attacker. Imagine using expensive precision rounds to shoot down a drone that costs a fraction of that price. Over time, this approach becomes unsustainable, especially in prolonged engagements. Accuracy also suffers due to latency in targeting systems. Sensors must detect the drone, process its position, predict its future location, and then guide the weapon accordingly. Each of these steps takes time, and in the fast-paced environment of drone warfare, even milliseconds matter. Traditional rounds, once fired, cannot correct their course, making them highly dependent on perfect initial targeting. The limitations of line-of-sight engagement further complicate things. Drones can fly behind obstacles, use terrain for cover, or approach from angles that are difficult for ground-based systems to address. Traditional rounds require a clear path to the target, and any obstruction can render the shot ineffective. Night operations add another layer of complexity. While thermal imaging and night vision technologies have improved significantly, small drones can still evade detection in low-visibility conditions. Their heat signatures may be minimal, and their small size makes them difficult to distinguish from background noise. This makes accurate targeting with traditional rounds even more challenging. Electronic warfare has also changed the landscape. Some drones are equipped with countermeasures that can interfere with targeting systems, making it harder for weapons to lock on. Others operate autonomously, reducing their reliance on external signals that could be jammed or intercepted. This independence makes them more resilient and harder to neutralize using conventional means. The psychological aspect should not be underestimated either. The presence of drones creates constant pressure on defensive forces. The knowledge that an unseen, fast-moving threat could appear at any moment forces operators to remain in a heightened state of alert. This can lead to fatigue and reduced effectiveness over time, further diminishing the success rate of traditional engagement methods. All these factors combined highlight a fundamental truth: traditional rounds were not designed for this kind of threat. They excel in scenarios where targets are predictable, visible, and relatively large. But against small, agile drones, their effectiveness drops significantly. This has led to a shift in how modern militaries approach air defense. Instead of relying solely on direct hits, new strategies focus on increasing the probability of impact through alternative methods. These include creating zones of effect rather than pinpoint accuracy, using advanced sensors to improve tracking, and integrating multiple systems to cover different aspects of the threat. Training has also evolved. Operators are now trained to deal with dynamic, unpredictable targets, learning to anticipate movements and react quickly under pressure. Simulation technologies allow them to practice against realistic drone scenarios, improving their ability to respond effectively in real-world situations. The battlefield is changing, and so must the tools and tactics used to fight on it. Drones have exposed the limitations of traditional rounds, forcing a re-evaluation of long-standing assumptions about engagement and defense. This doesn't mean that conventional ammunition is obsolete, but it does mean that it can no longer be the sole solution. As technology continues to advance, the gap between traditional methods and modern threats will only grow. The challenge lies in adapting quickly enough to keep pace. Understanding why traditional rounds struggle against drones is the first step in developing more effective countermeasures. In the end, it's not just about hitting a target, it's about redefining what it means to engage one. The era of predictable warfare is fading, replaced by a landscape where speed, agility, and innovation determine success. And in this new reality, relying on old methods is no longer enough.